So we are talking about digital experiences. I'm from CoreMedia. We are a company providing the platform for organizations to build exceptional digital experiences that drive impact. And we have the great pleasure that the Tourist Board from Vienna, that the Marcus and Manuela are here, to share their experience how you do that, right? For someone like a city like Vienna, like I learned the second largest German-speaking city after Berlin. And well, I'm from Hamburg, but it's great. This challenge is kind of like an interesting one because when you think about the challenge, you have like around about 6 million tourists coming to Vienna every year. Like all of them, they try to find the right place to stay, the right event to attend. They want to go to something special. They want to experience something, right? They want to kind of like have a wonderful experience. And all of them have special ideas. But then you also have like around about 2 million people living in Vienna, and then quite a few in the areas around it. So they also have potentially kids, and they want to do something on the weekend, and they also have these interests. And for all these customers, you want to really provide a very seamless experience. And that's nowadays not so easy because it's the website, it's certainly the app, it's social media, it's the mobile web, it's when you're on the go, you have to look up, okay, where's my ticket or when does it start? So all of that together, you have to somehow consolidate your kind of technology to be able to make this seamless, this easy experience that is personalized, that is relevant for you. And not this thing of, okay, now I have these millions of events and I don't know which one to basically look at. It's kind of like this, yeah, making it easy. And now I'm hand over to Manuela and Marcus to take us through the journey that led you there, how you consolidated your platforms to make that possible. Marcus.
Thanks, Aaron. Warm welcome also from my side. Yeah, exactly what we will do is we lead you through this journey of consolidation that we went through in the last 3 years on different levels, on the technology level, on the organization level, and also on the value creation level. But before that, I want to shortly introduce the Vienna Tourist Board very briefly. We are a non-profit organization founded in 1995, and we have 2 main domains that we are working on. The one is the destination management. Here it's about the development of the destination, working closely together with the stakeholders and important institutions within Vienna, and then the destination marketing, which is also the part that we will focus on. So it's all about communication and marketing for Vienna globally. Our vision that we defined ourselves is inspiring the world to experience Vienna, which is pretty obvious and clear. But we had a challenge 3 years ago that we also faced, and this was we were pretty good in having proper setup, having good usabilities on our channels, but where we really want to extend our view was the point of customer experience, to take the whole thing a bit broader and really to take all aspects in and combine them in a meaningful way in order to leverage customer experience to a new level. This was the challenge that we worked on. Before we go into the journey itself or the consolidation process, I want to give you a short overview of the key success factors that we identified for ourselves. The first one is efficiently manage your digital portfolio and, of course, also your resources. One of the big challenges is for a tourist organization, you have a lot of target groups and you have a lot of platforms that you have to maintain and have to run. As you can see here, this is just the B2C side. We also have a huge B2B platform portfolio. And as you can see, it's a bit tricky to balance your resources in order to do all of this at the same level. So what we defined also in our strategy process is a lead channel concept. So we prioritize our budgets and our resources to some of the channels which are here marked with an asterisk, for example. So the lead channels are definitely our website, vienna.info, and the IB app. And we have some of the social media channels as well, like LinkedIn on the B2B side or Pinterest on the B2C side, which we define as a lead channel. This doesn't mean that the other channels are not maintained properly, but we really try to focus on the development and on the further enhancement of the channels, especially on the defined lead channels. The second one, establish and really continue to have multisensoric storytelling. Obviously, I think everybody knows that this is key in order to be relevant, in order to touch the emotions of our customers, but this is also a journey which has 2 levels. The one is you have to have a proper technology stack in order to do that, You have to run a performing website, you have to run a performing app in order to provide video content, audio players in a way that it's well accepted, and you really have to define the content for that. And this is the even bigger challenge, that you really have to go into the different channels and define channel fit and target fit concepts or formats. Here you can see some of them. One is, for example, a video series that we just established about the culinary heritage and the culinary positioning of Vienna, which is called Hungry for More. You can also find the QR code here if you want to join. It's a very entertaining format which is done by a 2-star Michelin chef. And we started recently our podcast Bahö, which is our newest, let's say, member in the portfolio. And we are also doing several social media and video series on a regular basis. The third one is individualization. As we learned in the last 2 days, or yesterday and also this day, is a big topic. It's important to be relevant for the customer, and personalization, individualization is a very sufficient way to do that, and it makes it easier to build up emotions. And this is also what we did. Here we have highlighted the Ivy app, which is our destination app. We have launched it 3 years ago, exactly in the pandemic. Or the beginning of the pandemic, and since now we already have 700,000 downloads, which is quite good from our point of view. And here we have different ways to do so. The one is, as you can see here, you can select your individual favorites or individual interests, and then the app is really delivering the content based on your personal interest. And the second thing is a pretty new thing. We started about 1 month ago or 1.5 months ago. It's gamification challenge. So we have around our yearly topic, which is the World Fair 150 years ago, which was in Vienna. We defined an online challenge where you can go with a gamification model through different places in the city, can collect points and then can redeem them points and can also win prizes. So this is also a nice tool because it's interaction with the customer very individually, and it brings the customer to different points in the city, which also makes a kind of steering of the guests within the city, which is also relevant for us. And the third point is we want to boost engagement and interaction, and of course this also needs a good user experience. So we constantly develop in our website. We regularly have user-centric approach. We have user testing, and we also develop a lot of engaging content, like a TikTok challenge that we currently launched, which in a few weeks already collected about 2.2 million views. And we also have engagement live formats, like a live walk, where some guides are leading people through the city and strongly go into interaction with these users. Yeah. But now it's about how we did get there, and Manuela will show what challenges we had to overcome to get there.
So for us, the answer was consolidation. First on a data and infrastructural level, second on a level of the organization, and third on a strategic level and in a way of maximizing value. Concerning our data and infrastructure, we had a lot of pain points when we started 3 years ago to make a shift on the customer experience. We were stuck with a content management system with no major further development, and our CMS had no standard APIs, application programming interfaces, but we needed the data out of the content management system. Also, the CMS had a very poor usability, and the performance was pretty bad. So our content creators didn't want to work anymore with the system. And then we had a lot of different silos in the technical infrastructure with relevant data distributed across different parts of the systems, and not really much of a connection between them. And last but not least, the system architecture was pretty rigid. So the challenge was to connect all these relevant parts of the system. Here you can see a quite simplified view of our old system architecture, which is focused on one very crucial type of information in the tourism industry. It's the POI, the point of interest. So we stored our basic POI information in our CMS and added their hotel POI information from our CRM. And from the CMS, we push the POI information on our web channels and also to the open government data hub from the city of Vienna. But at the same time, we had a lot more channels that needed to use this POI information, like our event website or the mobile app Ivy, for example. And then we had also some more information that was relevant for POIs, like bonus information for our Vienna City Card, or also opening times that were provided by an external partner. So what we basically did was installing a central hub for data and microservices that aggregated all the POI information from the different systems and distributed it again to all the channels that needed this information. And this was also the time when we exchanged our CMS and chose to work with CoreMedia, which made it really easy for us with its headless server technology to make POI information available to other parts of the system. And this works the same way with other data types and even media assets. And another important thing, our central hub also provided or provides now microservices for example, authentication and login, which will be very important for our future plans to be able to provide single sign-on over all our channels. The second level of consolidation is concerning the organization and the mindset. Initially, we also had a lot of pain points there. We had a lot of organizational silos. Every department only thought of itself and would work for its business goals or its department goals. And talking of business goals, these were even more important than user needs or user goals, and that had to change. We had also a lack of efficiency. Requirements were made only for one channel or one target group exclusively, even if it was an important functionality for a lot of target groups, like for example having a city map, which is important for a journalist coming to Vienna, for a business traveler, for a tourist, for many target groups. And last but not least, the organization wasn't ready for fast-changing requirements, and the development process wasn't really flexible. So what we did, we created a central multidisciplinary team which was responsible for the further development of the web channels with people from all our different departments. And these people from the departments had a very specific role, or have a very specific role, which is the role of the topic product owner. They bring into the team their expertise for their target group. And at that time also the channel management team was created, where all channel managers are working together, centralize know-how on customer experience, and look out for synergies all across the channels. And the technical product owner here is responsible for the process and project management, as well as the management of the development team. And all together, we worked the last years on changing our mindset, not thinking in departments and silos anymore, but thinking in a user-centric way altogether. Then we needed also to adapt our development process, and like many of us, we made it agile. And as in a lot of companies, we are not working strictly according to the Scrum framework, but use a lot of agile methods and techniques from that framework. But the most important thing that change in our way of working is really the iterative way and the possibility with it to change fast in our plans. And again, one really important thing was the change in the mindset. We really had to internalize that things change fast and that we cannot absolutely predict how our channels will look like even in the near future.
Thanks, Manuela. Now we are going through the third level, which is the value creation and strategy level. This is also a common challenge because we have here interfering needs that we need to balance in some way. We have on the one side, we have the channel users, where it's about inspiration, services, in our case, so we are mainly about inspiring and getting the people or supporting them in their phase of their customer journey. We have the content creators, they have this ease of use, they have also their targets and objectives to work efficiently and be empowered by the tools that we are providing to them. And then we have some partners where we also have some integration levels and cross-platform integration topics. So to balance these needs is a big challenge in every enterprise, of course. We just defined for us a transparent model, a very simple one. It's basically, we have two axes. We have the effort and the complexity, and we have the business value and customer value. And based on this, we simply weight on a defined criteria catalog. We weight the different user stories and try to, let's say, judge them. And then this is the main driver also for the prioritization and for the assignment to the different sprints and the resources. So this is based on a defined criteria catalog with very detailed questions that is also evaluated not only by one person, but from different perspectives. This is what the technical and the channel managers do together, product owners do together, and it's also fully connected to our PM system. So you can get all the information about the deals on the user story by clicking on the link, and then you get the information, and it's automatically calculated, and you then have a final, let's say, business and customer value calculation, which is very helpful for further discussions, and also gives us a clear prioritization and resource assignment. Based on this, it's also important that this prioritization fits to your strategy. We went through a quite intense strategy process, which took us about 1 year in order to go through all, let's say, channels and also all the content strategy and everything who was involved. It was a very broad process. I just want to highlight a few things that are in this channel strategy now defined and evaluated on a very regular basis. The one is the portfolio itself, so it's about the resources, the ownership, and which channels are, let's say, are within the portfolio and which are prioritized ones. We have the target group, where we constantly update the target group definitions, because also this is developing in a way. And of course the market set, which is also a challenge here, because we're addressing basically the global market and have to set priorities here as well. We constantly look at the current reach and usage in order to define meaningful objectives, where we have defined between primary and secondary objectives, and the same is with the KPIs. And then we also have the content formats and the content strategy with defined content pillars, which is for each channel and each activity defined, and we align it with our strategic framework, where the company goals go into this and are matched with the purpose of the channel and the potential. And then we assign it, of course, also in the customer journey, and this is transparent to everybody in the company, so this helps a lot of getting a common understanding of the usage of the portfolio. We evaluate it on a regular basis. We have it 3 levels. We have the strategic level here, we have the tactical level and the practical or the operational level. Strategic is a half-year review of the strategy itself and quarterly review of the KPIs. On the tactical level, we have the roadmaps, basically for those products which we are fully in control of, like the websites or the IV app. Here we have a quarterly review as well. And then we have the short-term activities, which are then done on the operational level, where we have posting plans, editorial plans, sprint planning, and so on, where we really define the next priorities and steps. So that's where we are currently. Where's the journey going? I want to highlight 2 things or 2 ideas where we are currently working on, where the journey in our point of view for Vienna could go in the digital area. So the one is the topic hybrid customer service solutions. We have the big asset that we have within the company, also a physical team, experts of people who can consult the people. They are on our tourist information offices, which we have 2 in Vienna currently, on the airport and in the city. And we want to blend this or merge this together with AI. So we want to have an AI-enabled but HI-driven customer support. So this is a very nice concept where we, of course, leverage from what we already have in place. And the AI aspect, for example, can help us to expand languages, to expand availabilities, And it can also help us to bridge times where the team is not available, like in the night. So you can already have a first contact with HI tools, and then you can have an, let's say, enhanced contact with people in the background, which then jump in the right moment and support you. So this is still on idea level and a conception level, but this is where we think this could be a very nice positioning and also service for Vienna. The second topic is classical, of course, a bit for destinations. It's about providing the perfect itinerary and recommendations for your trip based on your preferences and your interests. This is where we are concrete working on in the moment. So it's about collecting interests from the users and having one joint or one common user profile across the different touch points. So we have the user profile, we call it One Vienna, it's across the website, the newsletter and the IB app. And we are using it then in the different contexts, but always based on the same interest. So the user really has a big benefit of registering here and also maintaining his profile. It's cross-platform, and again here it's of course strongly AI and data-driven. So we take into consideration in the future maybe weather information. Occupancy is important, so is it good to visit this site in the morning, or is it better to do it in the afternoon? So this is also a tool for us in order to find a good balance, in order to steer or to give recommendations which are really meaningful for the customer and for the destination at the same time. Here you can find a few screenshots of how this could look like. This is a mock-up that is provided by our implementation partner Babil GmbH. Here you can see we will actively promote it within the website that there is the option of creating your itinerary. Then you can go into there and can start configuring it. We really want to set the barrier of registration quite low, so you can use it almost completely without registering, but just then with some enhanced features you are, let's say, ask for registration. So in order first to address the need, provide a benefit, and then in order to get helpful information in order to enhance the service even more. For example, if you go on the Schönbrunn walk on the website, you get a CTA where it says, okay, you want to add this to your itinerary, and then you can click on it. So all around the website we will have this call to actions, the same in the web, and then you can fill up your itinerary and your favorites list. Here you can see we think about three main areas. So the one is the itinerary itself, the other one is the explore button or explore section, where you can simply beside your defined route you can get additional recommendations, and then your favorites, which you can also maintain and include in your itinerary anytime. Yeah. So that's where we are currently, and we for sure will not stop with that. So we are working on additional ideas all the time. And I hand over again to Søren to see where the journey could go on in general.
So first of all, thank you, Markus and Manuela. So there's so much that I like about what you do. You know, like for example, we have worked with a lot of organizations and big brands and organizations, and some of them are more mature than others. And one thing that you highlighted, this idea of just the technology changing that is not sufficient, right? Like the way we organize, we work together is a huge difference. We see that really the outcome, what you achieve in 1 year, is massively different if you, for example, have these joint teams that are working agile and basically really looking at the customer and not just looking at we have to internally do something technical, there's no customer value. That's a very different outcome after 1 year. I recently talked to a CEO of a big software company, and he told me they've spent $27 million in the last 7 years to try to create a new version of their platform, and now they have 200,000 something customers on the legacy platform and 200 on the new one. And he said, why did I do it? Because the new one is basically it's just driven as a technology project and not driven as something that adds value to the customer. So I think the balance that you have with the strategy and the process and the technology is one big one. The other one that I noticed was that you have multiple users, right? You have the customers out there surfing the website, coming to Vienna or living in Vienna, but you also have the other side, like the vendors, like the people who basically provide the events, the hotels and everything. And then the third one, your employees basically working with the tool, right? And another thing we see a lot, if you don't have something that has a great experience for the marketers and for the business users, it's usually the outcome for the users out there is also not that great. So that's a big one. And the third one, I think, like this stick of step by step, very close to the customers, is also what I liked about your approach. Like the way you structured your kind of like ideas into what to prioritize. So those three things, I think, from my perspective, are very kind of like important stuff to take away. And yeah, so what we see happening now is that what you do is kind of like a foundation for what's coming, right? Because in a way, what we all agree upon, the next 5 years will not be slower or less changing or less dramatic than the last 5, right? And so I sometimes wonder, what comes after Corona and like not flying? There will be something, right? Something like AI and many other things that are coming up in the next 5 years. So I think getting ready for being able to harness AI, for example, but as you said, blend it with a human touch. That is the other, I think, big idea that I strongly believe in, that I would like you to take away, is like AI can do so much and will do so much the next 5 years. You basically, even today, right, when you take a photo with your iPhone, the outcome is not a normal photo. It's basically a lot of AI that did all this stuff to make it look good. So, and AI is now in nearly every interaction, wherever you do a search or you basically dictate your phone, translation, all these things. Now video translation with the perfect kind of like French and the lips are kind of like adjusted. All that will happen. But what we also believe is the human touch, and you mentioned it as well. When I'm basically in the moment of having a problem, I basically found everything and have one question, I want to solve that question. Clicking on a button and talking to someone who basically can help me in that moment, or chat with someone, is a huge difference. Because like this other frustration that we all have is running into this dead end where we try to please technology. We try to talk to Siri and Siri doesn't understand, and that is a frustrating moment. And what we see happening is this blending of digital and human interaction is a huge thing. A good example is Apple. Like Apple, many years ago, didn't go for just online shopping at that point in time. They went for the retail store plus the online store. And everyone like, why? Retail is slow, expensive. It worked for them, right? And I think this idea of blending digital and it is a different experience. And for a city like Vienna coming to you, that actually is the human touch, right? It is coming there. Great. I think we are close to the end. You can stop by at the CoreMedia booth. It's next to the e-commerce kind of like stage here. When you stand in front of the stage on the left side, we can show you some of the things that we do, how we blend digital and physical, how we basically have the ability on your website to even talk to customers. And the last 2 minutes, happy to take a few questions if you might. If you want? Yeah? So, any questions? You can shout them. Yes? I'm not sure I got them.
I think I got it.
Yeah?
If I got it right, it's about AR, VR, and this kind of technologies. So we are thinking about as well, so especially in the gamification part where we already try to get an interactive communication with the customer. AR is a quite promising tool for us, so we are thinking about enhancing that and also add an AR component to these kind of things. We also did some, let's say, prototypes in VR, but of course, again, here we have a bit of an inner conflict because we really we say the physical visit in Vienna can never be replaced. So we did some steps here, but for us, in the current position, we're really thinking about AR could be the even more fitting tool for us, but we have always a look at all technologies which are coming up, yeah.
One more time, one more question we have time for. No, nobody's. No. Okay. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you.
Enjoy Cologne. Thank you.